Welcome to Between the Horns, presented by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Camryn Irwin alongside JV Long and DeMarco Farr. The Los Angeles Rams picking up the big win over the Detroit Lions as they get set for a massive Thursday night football showdown with the Seattle Seahawks. Division on the line, potentially the conference on the line. Guys, it doesn't get much bigger and much better than this. Are we just going to revel in this moment for a minute?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I hope it gets a little bit bigger and better, but I mean, this is like you said, the most important 2 weeks of this football season. You got through a one versus Detroit that just refused to go away, and you got another one in Seattle with a team that feels the same way. They think this is their year. So this is tough, but I like what the Rams keep saying about themselves. They are built for this, and they are playing some of their best ball on both sides right now. So this might be the best time for the matchup. It's a short week, but it is what it is. You got to come hard down the hard road.
My two favorite things in sports have become the NFL playoffs. Just the win or go home dynamic is irreplaceable, but very, very close. 1B is this time of year where you have a couple games left on your runway and you can game out not only your own team's path, but you can scoreboard watch and feel, those playoff simulators in real time. This is unbelievable. And I have not ever been a part of really a chase for a 1 seed or the opportunity to be a 1 seed. And especially since we revamped this playoff format, I still can't wrap my mind around how valuable it is to be the 1 seed. Like, this is a prize worth straining for. Forget the Seahawks and what that all matters. That's just a rivalry game unto itself that we'll talk about. But is it real? Is it true that if you are the 1 seed, you only have to win one home game to then host the NFC Championship game? Like, even as I say that, it doesn't feel real.
Yes, it's true. First-hand knowledge, yes.
Okay, then my follow-up is you guys were both on the field this Sunday. I'm up in the booth, and I got these noise cams.
Yeah.
How raucous was that, and is that not an environment and a home field advantage worth replicating in January?
That was one of the loudest home environments, just football environments that I've been in a long time. I mean, it was right at the proper moments, and it was deafening. I thought it was awesome by you guys to lay out and let the crowd kind of bleed in because they were doing their part. It was great. They were up for big plays. They were up for third downs. When the game kind of got away from the Rams, they willed them back into it. So that environment was absolutely outstanding. But here's the thing. It's only going to get louder and bigger from here if you keep winning.
How about when Dan Campbell, in a trailing position, has to burn a timeout on offense?
Oh, it's amazing.
And I emphasize in a trailing position because if he has that third timeout, the end of that game plays out differently. So game ball to the home crowd at SoFi Stadium to rip away one of those timeouts before crunch time from the opposing head coach.
There you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Game ball.
Without question. And I will say, too, I have double in-ears on game days. I legitimately, heading into the third quarter and even more so into the fourth quarter, I took out my double in-ears because I just wanted to immerse myself and just soak it all in. It was one of the best game day environments, my 5th season with the Rams, and it was top tier, maybe top 3 that I've experienced. The noise level was superb. Your call was amazing. I love that you got a chance. Even as a fan not sitting in the stands, you really had quite the understanding of what is being built and the community and the team that is being built. It was just a thing of beauty. And I will also say I had some insider insight. Some of my stage managers were actually in the tunnel just leading up as the guys are getting ready to come onto the field. And one of the things they said is, we've never seen this team this hyped before. They were ready to go. And we can, of course, we can dig into the performance in the first half. However, that tells me a lot as we are heading into the late stages of December football and, of course, the playoff run. But that one definitely meant a little bit more, especially just considering the context.
I love that. I always felt like a pent-up bull. Just open the door so we can get out. And that's the way it felt. When Stafford came out and did that little twitch, you just kind of know when he's feeling like that, everybody else is going with him. So, yeah, that's the environment you want to be in.
I'm still stuck on this. If the Rams are the 1 seed, all they have to do is beat the lowest remaining seed at SoFi Stadium to host the NFC Championship game.
That's true.
For the right to go play Super Bowl in Santa Clara.
Yes.
Man, this is special.
There's a lot at stake.
Cash this in.
You got a lot at stake. This is the thing. You got to keep your mind when all about you are losing theirs. It's on Seattle, but you're right. I'll tell you, man, it's a luxury to go into the postseason with that week off. Now, I told you, the other side of that is when you do match up with someone, they're guaranteed to be good, maybe even as good as you are. That's the downside. But you get the benefit of rest. When you know and you've got it locked up, it's not that you hit cruise control, but you can hit cruise control and watch everybody out go play the Hunger Games. It helps. I mean, it really does. It's the 1 seed in the NFL. Like you said, it's everything if you have designs on becoming champion.
You talked to Quentin Lake after that win Sunday?
Yeah. Funny. Saw him right in the locker room. And first thing, how's the arm? Arm's great. How you feeling about this? Everybody's euphoric, right? Or getting ready for Seattle. He goes, I'll see you in January. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
I mean, that playoff ticket means more to him than I think anyone else. He knows he gets to play again this season now. He doesn't know where. He doesn't know the opponent. But, like, just punching that ticket, which no one's taking for granted, but we all thought it was coming, right?
Yeah.
Now that it's official, he has something to aim for.
Man,
and that's awesome.
God,
but,
he's so important.
But
yes.
Devontae Adams has a bad wheel. Like Tyler Higbee, not back yet. Mm-hmm. And so get this roster in its best form to January, maybe with an extra week off.
That's even more critical.
I mean.
And you're indoors. At home.
That's true. Like, this could be the last bad weather game you play. You got to go on the road at least one more time to Atlanta.
And it could be raining in Seattle.
I
know.
Let me knock on wood. Seattle. Thursday.
You've got a team that can go from down 10 to up 10 like that.
Right.
Can you do that at Soldier Field in Chicago? Can you do that at Lambeau Field in Green Bay? Maybe, maybe not.
Right.
You can do that in your own park.
Definitely,
though.
you can do that here.
In a near climate-controlled environment, that can happen because of what you're capable of offensively.
Can you take us to Seattle? He's getting me. See,
I know.
My head's
This
doing
is
this.
all, this is all about winning in Seattle. This is about doubling down on the magnitude
Jared
of this
Verse.
moment because the loser of this game, in all likelihood, is going to be a road wildcard team.
Yep, without question.
I love that you put that out there. I really do. And I'm sure that's being conveyed, or you probably don't even need to tell the guys, but all you know from here, and I just remember, if you just keep winning, great things are going to happen. You know what I mean? If you keep searching for your best football game, good things will happen. This team is very, very good, possibly great. The one thing I think that could creep in is, like you said, is the outside in. So that's what I mean. I'm joking, but I'm not. You got to go focus on Seattle. That is going to be a fight to the finish, and they feel the same way we do. Up there, they feel like they've got a shot at it too. That's the problem when you get to this part of the season, when there's, like you said, 4 or 5 vultures out there all gunning for the same spot. Mm-hmm. It ain't over.
Did their head coach have a baby this week too?
No.
No.
Not that I'm aware of.
That's a pretty big transaction too. I loved it. The Rams put it out this morning. So congratulations to Sean and Veronica. Christian Alexander McVay has officially been delivered.
What a name.
It's a great name.
Nickname Puka?
Sure.
No? Or Aaron. One or the other. Right?
Colby,
there
sure.
You go.
All of the above. Guys, let's look a little bit to Detroit because what we can garner from this last week can also prepare us for Seattle. So one of the things that stood out to me was just the amount of balance. And we've seen it throughout the season, but we talk about Matthew Stafford and even the MVP campaign that he has been on. But I think what's really impressed me the most throughout this season is he's found different evolutions and different ways to win. And I think this last week was a great example. And he might have to find a different evolution even now against Seattle on this Thursday Night Football. Of course, considering whether Devontae's out there or not.
That's a good point. It really is. And, I think of how he went down, and if he makes it back for Thursday, my respect for him is here. It would go to there because I know how hamstrings can be. But there are guys that can step up in his stead. You could split that up into 3 guys. He's got speed to burn. That sounds like Tutu. He's very physical in the run game. Well, that could be Jay Witt. And if you need somebody to route you up, I'm ready to see more of Mumfield. There's just no place to put him in the offense because you've got 2 great receivers out there. But you saw that incompletion, how athletic he is. You see him in practice. There's more there. So there are guys that can step up. And like you said, with innovation and growing the offense, I look at it more as people and who's doing it. Colby Parkinson is on a whole new level, completely different guy from last year. He's an absolute weapon in this offense. It's a weapon that you have to game plan for. It's not something that, we'll just worry about the tight end on game day. We'll take care of that. No, you're going to have to draw stuff up and figure out who's on him. Because if he catches it in the open field versus a smaller safety or whatnot, you've got issues. That might not
Seattle,
apply this week.
Does Seattle have small safeties?
That might not apply this week, but I'm just saying.
These are not your Detroit Lions in the secondary. I will say
Yeah.
the biggest contrast week to week. I love when you do the video game analogy. What's the final stage? The boss mode.
The final boss.
The final boss.
Yes.
All right. Let's face it. Going back to last week against that Detroit defense with Devontae, Matthew was playing the opening level with a cheat code.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
Now you go to the final round and the cheat code is probably taken off the table.
You're gonna have to earn it. Yeah. You're gonna have to go through somebody.
Worst offensive day of the season. Anybody remember what it was?
I believe it was the Seahawks.
That's right.
Yes. They're smart. They're good. They have an edge. I think they have a lot of edge because of who their middle linebacker is. It means a lot more to him. They're good, period. And they go to a different level when they see you right now, or they did. So you're going to have to match that energy. I don't think you're going to get guys scot-free to the quarterback going forward, and I don't think you're going to get wide open space like you have. You're going to have to go through or drag people. You know what I mean? To make it happen. That's just how it looked, and that's just the complexion of this game.
You know that Colby can set a single season Rams tight end record for receiving touchdowns?
No way.
What's the record?
I think he's tied it with
he's
6.
6 right now.
Yeah.
6 since week 10
So
too,
what
which is
if he
impressive.
got it in Seattle against his former team? Anyways,
I would not be surprised by that. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I guess I'm a little surprised about how much better he's gotten from year 1 to year 2. It could be a position change, and you're playing him where he likes to be played, and he's giving it to you. But whatever it is, he has become a thing, a weapon for Matthew Stafford
I don't even
for.
think I start with the receiving numbers.
Blocking.
I think the way the Rams are running the rock right now is the most important dimension going into Thursday night, and I think the tight ends are a big part of that.
I absolutely love watching. I would hate to play against Davis Allen. He's the type of dude that I would fight or talk trash to because he don't mind hitting you. He loves to block when they motion him in and he runs up on the inside linebacker. That's not an H-back, a guy that doesn't want to hit. He's a former defensive end who likes to use his head. He likes to block, and the O-line is doing a great job behind him, and the running backs are doing a great job reading their keys and getting out and breaking off some long runs. I'm with you, man. Like it's not just a passing game. As a defense, you have to commit that 8th guy to the box. If not, the Rams are really good at running at and exploiting light boxes. And if once you do, it opens you up for everything else. So this offense is diversified, and it just keeps you on your heels constantly as a defense.
Except McDonald and the Seahawks don't play by those rules.
This is true. When you can get after people with 4, it makes defense a lot easier, and they did.
I will say I watched the Colts matchup versus the Seahawks yesterday, and one of the things that stood out is the Colts did have some success kind of hitting some of those exterior gaps, so that might be a point of success. And also just thinking about Blake Corum, some of the moves he made, he actually had 2 massive explosive runs against Detroit where you're going, man, he found a beautiful edge, a little sidestep, and then on the exterior, I'm going, he could be a weapon. And not to mention, we got to give Blake Corum a little bit of love. 3rd straight game now with 70 or more yards, 4 touchdowns in that span. We talk so much about Kyren Williams, and rightly so. Obviously, coming off another 1,000-yard season now, his 3rd consecutive. But that run game, the tight ends, it's all merging together. Let's talk a little bit more about one tight end, though, T. Ferg, and you talked to Les Snead yesterday about it. He could have, 2 massive explosive plays go his direction against Detroit that didn't quite connect? Is this the game that he can really differentiate himself?
It's a much more difficult matchup when you talk about replacing Devontae Adams. I think he's a component of it.
Yeah.
Like they really trust the apprentice. Like Konate Mumfield, I'm telling you, is one to watch. Everyone in this building says that the day 3 pick has a lot of similarities with Devontae Adams, a future Hall of Famer, which is hard to believe. But I will say the only silver lining of Devontae missing any time is he's already playing a career low snap count. So you're already diversified enough in your personnel groupings where you platoon him in and out, and I think on a down-to-down basis, the Rams could be okay, not will be, could be okay. I just don't know when the field gets short and you're going up against this defense. I don't know how that plays because you've been the most improved red zone offense in the game because of Devontae Adams and because of this newfound tight end identity. Now, these last couple of weeks, it's not just been Devontae here, 3 tight ends there. How do you solve for it? We've seen Puka in the mix now. And Colby Parkinson said that that's their 14 personnel look, right? Like Puka is an honorary tight end. And when you see the attention that he draws, just like Amon-Ra St. Brown, out of a backfield position that Kyron Williams can just slalom through untouched for an easy walk-in touchdown. Seattle's not going to give you that, but I do think as a 1 week replacement value for a Devontae cheat code, I think the Rams have more in their toolkit than anyone would have expected this time of year.
I totally agree. Totally 100% agree. I think running the football with Puka in there is going to be something to pay attention to. We said this before the game. By land or by sea, Puka's going to get it at some point. So I think he's going to become more of a weapon. But these running backs and the way they're doing it, it's funny how you have a 1-2 punch. There's no labels anymore. There's no starter. They're the same. It's just one guy goes out before the other.
They used
Does
to
that
like
make sense? Yeah.
It used to be even if I'm seeing them from like 200 yards away.
Yeah.
It's like if it's bright yellow cleats, okay, that's Kyron, and if it's the black old school cleats, that's Blake.
Same thing.
What happened to that? I can't even tell them apart now.
I don't know.
I need binoculars.
I'm so mad. I did not know this, that Sonic and Knuckles were somebody. You guys were talking about Detroit's
it's
running
Gibbs
backs.
and Montgomery.
Yep.
It actually fits these two. You know what I mean? They're the same. They're little rolling balls of butcher knives. But either way, just moving the ball up the field, like you said, the way they're blocking, especially with 13 or 14 personnel, the way they're going to get guys and everybody committing to blocking in the run game, as a defense, you have no choice but to commit the extra guy. And that's what they're waiting on. That's what Stafford is waiting on. As soon as he see you creeping, the ball goes out beyond you. That it seems like magic. It's not. It's just that's the effect of a good running game.
The explosives are definitely worth highlighting and celebrating because it was the narrative of the offseason. Can the Rams go from the least explosive running game in the league to actually threatening some defenses with their ground game? So the fact that both Kyron and Blake are doing that is worthy of discussion. But to me, the most important thing that happened Sunday against the Lions and has happened all season is first down and 10, you get 6. Because if you give this quarterback and this staff offensively second down and 4, you're dead.
Yep.
It's over.
You're done.
It's over. But Seattle didn't give that up. Go look at the second down distances against Seattle in the previous game. That wasn't happening.
That's respect. Yes, it is.
One other area, you guys talked about explosives, and it's something just to note. I noticed, I went back and looked at some of Puka's numbers, even from a season ago, because he ripped off massive chunks against the Lions. 39, 37, 36, and 22, a career high 181. And I know we can gush over Puka Nacua time and time again, but he is actually upped by a yard per catch, his average over last season
Let's
as
gush
well.
over Puka Nacua. Let's spend
over
5-10 minutes talking about Puka Nacua. He deserves it. Why is he not the consensus offensive player of the year right now?
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Well, let's change that
Yeah,
Thursday.
I was going to say we can do that Thursday night.
That's the only problem. That when you look for Puka, the only thing that's above him is that name. And this is funny. We talked about, or you and I talked about the battle at middle linebacker. Well, there's a battle at receiver for who's the best. And you get to see both of them coming up soon. Puka is unreal. He is playing on a different level. He's a fighter pilot right now. And I would say feed that. I would. I feed that because I don't think there's a guy that he can't route up. I don't think there's a corner or a safety that wants to tackle him in the open field. And you said this before, and I love how you put it. I would see how many times you want to tackle Puka Nacua. I am down for that.
On a short week, can
On
you
a
get
short
him
week.
to the ground 12 or 14 times?
I love that. Yes, I would take my
I
chances.
will say, though, the player in the slot for Seattle is about 6 inches and 30 pounds bigger than the one last week for Detroit.
This is true.
So it's a different animal.
This is true. Yeah. Eamon Morey's a big fella. But, I mean, like I said, with guys like him, when he's on a heater, when he's on one, feed that.
Are you old enough to remember 3 trips ago to Seattle when nobody knew who Puka Nacua was?
That was his first
Not
game.
really. But, yes, I do remember, yes. The
Opening week of 23, that was the Puka Nacua game. But also, undercard, that was the Tutu Atwell game.
Yeah. Ooh. Biggest catch of last week, or this Sunday, was Tutu. Come on now.
Unbelievable.
Yes, come on. Biggest catch
It
of
was
the
insane
day.
in the fourth. Woo!
Come on.
I still have back spasms just watching that catch. How did he do that? How did he go down and get that?
I have
off
no
his
idea, but I'm
shoelaces?
glad he did. Yes.
I don't know if the conditions are going to allow for this to be a Tutu Atwell game, but what I love about the 2025 Rams is the Tutu Atwell story. Mm-hmm. Like, I get people are upset because you wrote him a nice check, but like when you wrote him a nice check, you didn't have Devontae Adams yet. You didn't have Konate Mumfield yet. Like those steps came later.
Yep.
if anyone saw 3 tight end packages coming when they signed Tutu Atwell, let me know. Send
Right.
us a letter. Like, the fact that they've been one of, if not the best offenses in the league, and Tutu only has a handful of catches, maybe that's, you don't love the cap management or whatever, but who cares about that? We're in December. Like, that is a
Sitting at
great,
11-3.
healthy sign. And if Devontae misses a snap or a game or a month, whatever it is, thank goodness Tutu Atwell is fresh and ready to go.
I was going to say maybe this week is the reason we have Tutu in a sense.
And I want that for Tutu, but I also want it to be raining so hard that Tutu is just parked in the garage.
That's true.
And this
Right.
is a 3 yards in a splashy cloud of dust type of game.
We've given out a lot of flowers already on this show, but I feel like we need to also look to the defensive side of the ball because the second half adjustments were superb. I will also question the fact that we stopped the run in the first half. It felt as if it was mission accomplished. And maybe my question is, did it actually set up the perfect adjustment coming out of the second half? Some might look at it and go, oh man, our defense a little wavering in the first, but I'm not sure that was necessarily the case.
Okay, maybe not you, maybe you. Remember the old days with the TVs and the antennas and when you got the blurry screen?
Bunny ears, come on now.
The bunny ears. Sometimes all it took was a little and everything starts to work again. That's your adjustment. The calls didn't change.
Okay.
You just played them better. You played them more disciplined. If they ask you to do X, Y, and Z, don't gamble. You know what I mean? Because every receiver, especially from here on out, is lethal. Everybody. So if you're gambling, if you're trying to be a star, or if you're not getting enough pressure, which is another thing, you've got to turn that up. And I'm so glad, and I don't want to say proud, but the effort that Kobe Turner put in towards the end of that game to take it up a notch, when we said this on the air, that was vintage Jared Goff.
That was an interior pressure game,
Yes.
and there was none of it for one half.
If you didn't start to knock him around, he was going to fillet you and not stop. So those two guys, or Kobe Turner, Braden Fisk, bringing it up the gut, and then the edge starting to come around, that changed the game in the passing game. But you have to generate more pressure. I think we know what this defense is and how it's constructed. We talk a lot about the front. The front has got to lead this football team. Stopping the run is great. You have to earn the right to rush the passer. And when you do, you've got to take advantage of it.
I'm trying to remember being in the family living room and turning the dial from channel 2 to like channel 36.
Yeah.
And then how long you had to wait for the antenna up on the roof to make that. I need the Rams adjustments to be faster than the antenna on the roof.
Fair enough.
Does that make sense?
Fair enough.
Like,
yes.
I know our listeners and our watchers have been on us, and I think rightly so, for many, many weeks about this. Something's changed. Something's different. It's not the way it used to be. At the end of last year, on the front end of this season, just the organic four-man win-now pressures, they've not been there. And I know that everyone's been rightly concerned about, do the Rams have enough in the secondary to be a championship defense? And for a half against Detroit, it'd be a hard time to make the case that the answer to that was yes. But if you want to protect your corners, Jared Goff needs to be uncomfortable. Yeah. And if you want to protect your corners, Sam Darnold needs to feel what he felt the last 3 times he played the Rams. Thursday Night Football with the Vikings, wild card with the Vikings, at SoFi with the Seahawks. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since he or any other quarterback has felt that way. And Detroit's got a great offensive line, especially tackles, right? That pair of tackles,
They're good.
That's as good as you'll see.
Tip of the cap, they're very good.
But
and
Seattle,
they
when
ask
healthy,
a lot of them. Yeah.
Seattle, when healthy, pretty good at tackle too. If you got to do extra things to generate that pressure, you could be in trouble.
You can, especially against Jared Goff and even against Sam Darnold, against anybody. And I'm right there with you. The way Jared Verse ended the football game, I have to point this out. This was on the 4th and 5, the PI, the Emmanuel Forbes call, which is still driving me crazy.
That was rough.
Still driving me crazy. But just go back and watch what Jared Verse does to Decker on that play. Absolutely bull rush, picks him up, drops him on Jared Goff. Jared Goff bounced off a helmet, his hand, on that play. That is vintage Verse. Now start the game that way. You know what I mean? That right there, up in Seattle against Sam Darnold, will bring out the bad Sam Darnold early.
Well, and that's what I was just about to transition and pivot to, because with Sam Darnold, we know it's been we'll call this round 3. We'll think back to Minnesota because why not? It's a little more fun. How much of a different competition could this be in round 3, just considering Sam Darnold? They've been off to some slow starts. How can we take advantage of what we've seen from them in even recent weeks?
I'm arguing with him about the do theory. I'm a big fan of the do theory. Like, if you're playing bad against certain opponents, at some point you're due for a good one. So that's 3 in a row against Sam Darnold. There was a time when he came through here, when he played for the Jets, that he looked like a Pro Bowl quarterback, even better, an All-Pro. I still think that guy exists. And human nature says you're going to get tired of getting your butt kicked by the same guy. Or maybe you're not. We'll see. So I'm expecting the great guy until you can take it out of him. If you do and he starts throwing it to you, then albeit. But I'm expecting him to take this down to the wire just like we saw in Detroit versus Detroit.
First of all, I think Sam Darnold is one of the most likable, like easiest to root for opponents in the sport. So like I don't want to be sitting here bad mouthing Sam Darnold.
No.
Like go ask a Seahawk fan, how are you feeling about your quarterback right now? How's it feel to have a championship team and the most turnover-prone quarterback in the league, getting set to host the team that's given him the most fits? Since he last played the Rams, 5 touchdowns, 5 picks, 8 sacks, 3 fumbles. Now, they've won 4 of those games. They've beaten all 4 opponents not named the Los Angeles Rams. But if you think it's comfortable right now at Lumen Field in Seattle, having just defeated the Colts without scoring a touchdown.
You make a great point because there are some differences, right? With Seattle, they have had those slower offenses. They've won 4 straight, Rams 3-1 in that time period. There was no Tutu the last time we played them, like you mentioned. Potentially no Adams or Lake. You also think about the difference for them. They returned their starting center as of last week, as well as a different look for our special teams. You think back to the last time we faced Seattle, and that could be one of the biggest difference makers for Los Angeles Rams facing them for the second time this year.
That guy scares me. What was that field goal here that he missed?
61.
61, and he made a 50-yarder to win over the Colts.
61 yards used to be like a miracle. No way.
He had done it.
Start to celebrate.
He had done
right.
it at SoFi.
That's wow. He's such a weapon.
Jason
back
Myers.
There. Yes,
He's
the
currently
SoFi
leading
record,
the league.
yeah.
He just had 6 field goals. I think he's got 153 points leading the league right now.
I would never let go of a strong leg kicker because of that right there, especially if he's accurate. And he's, like you said, he's a guy that no matter where you line up from, he's scary. So don't let it come down to that. But the other side, the kicking game from the Rams, when's the last time we spent 5 minutes on it? Maybe since the three technique showed up, Jake McQuaid showed up, that whole battery has gotten better. And now you're focused on what you should be focused on, offense, defense, winning football games.
See, I would argue, I'm like, go ahead, Jason Myers, score as many field goals as you want, as long as you're not kicking PATs.
I think that's right. I think the team kicking threes on Thursday is probably going to lose. And I mean, to go back to the defensive conversation for a second, they rose to the occasion. They made plays. And I think at times we've seen, be it Forbes, be it D. Will, be it Akella Witherspoon, like we've seen flashes of what it's going to take to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But when Akella's a healthy scratch pregame and you're pulling your punting team off the field on 4th and 8 to go for it early in that game, like that kind of tells you the state of affairs. Now, that may have been unique to that matchup and the firepower of Detroit, but that's the dynamic we're living in right now.
But didn't you like that? Because it was obvious what was necessary. And there was no doubt on the other side. Some other coaches might have punted it back to Jared Goff and been down 2 scores, 3 scores before you realize, oh, now I have to turn it up. He realized early what type of game this was.
Totally.
I mean, immediately. That was awesome.
And
yes.
And because we're playing Cooper Cup this week, we used to have fun on air. When it's 3rd down for the Rams, it's 3rd down in Cup. Now it's Puka, and when it's 4th down for the Rams, it's 4th down in Puka because you get the ball to that dude. I don't care if it's 4th and 2, 4th and 5, 4th and 8. He's going to find a way.
No doubt. Yes, sir.
And so, again, I don't know what the conditions are going to be. The weather and this defense, completely different animal. I don't think you need to go out planning for this to be a shootout like we were against the Detroit Lions. But to Camryn's question about, is 3 going to be enough? Like, I think it all stitches together. No, you need 7s.
See, and I think in regards to the rain, too, as much as that Carolina loss was painful, maybe that was the best preparation in terms of weather and getting accustomed to it that you could have heading into Seattle.
So to go back to that Carolina game, as frustrating as it was to have Goff fillet you, as I think you described earlier in the show, at least it happened quickly.
True.
Where the Rams historically get into deep waters is when they're getting squeezed. When the other team is sitting on the football, the game's getting short, they're not getting their play opportunities. And that's what Carolina did to them. That's what the 49ers, when they've had success against the Rams, have done to them. Do I love the Amon-Ra St. Brown, like weaving through your defense for 50 plus? No. Do I love Aiden Hutchinson, picking off Stafford? And well, I did love him getting hawked down by Colby Parkinson.
Go.
What a
yes,
run.
sir, big man.
But if you're going to make those mistakes, at least it wasn't death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah.
It was one play touchdown, get it back in the hands of Stafford and go do damage and go keep up, right? Like just play the tennis match as it is. And I think this matters Thursday because right now Seattle is not running the ball well enough to play the Carolina style. Maybe they will on Thursday. I know it's a focal point for them. But I jotted down their first 9 runs against Indy, 3 yards.
9 runs, 3 yards.
So they're coming out of the gate. Here's your design run game. They net 3 yards. Like that's just one example of where they are relative to where the Rams are right now. And so if this becomes an impose your will, battle the elements, a gritty type of game, who do you like?
I like our run
Sonic
game.
and Knuckles, our version of Sonic and Knuckles. Yeah, I'm stealing that. I'm taking that back. Yeah.
Guys, before we get to our keys to victory, I feel like we just need to give a brief overview of the playoff picture. And Jory Hirsch, our lovely producer, joked with me this week saying, JB, you have probably been looking at the playoff picture since week 3 and designing it. So I've been scratching it out on cards for the last 2 straight weeks, figuring out exactly where we're going to be. But just in terms of some of the schedules and who we might face off, remaining schedules, what are you looking to in terms of the playoff picture?
Well, you know what's great about being the one is you don't have to play the playoff simulator game.
That is also true.
Like, it's a fun exercise.
Makes the math easy.
But
yes.
But when you know that you're 3 wins away from being the one, you don't need to plug in any other results.
That's fair. But when you look around, too, you think about Seattle's remaining path. They have us. They have Carolina, who, by the way, is in a must-win position. They face the Bucs this week. Next week. Yeah, this week. And then week 18, they have San Francisco to close out. You look at a few of the others, too. One of the hardest paths, the Bears. They've got Green Bay, San Francisco, Detroit. There's a few that need all 3 to really get to that 12-win spot. It's kind of a tough path, no doubt.
Man, how does that Micah injury
That's
change?
brutal.
Huge. Oh, my God. He made that defense special. He really did. He's a math changer. That's a big injury for them.
I kind of changed my tune on that whole Chicago thing. I thought for a while, their previous matchup, I was like, yeah, I know the Bears have the better record, but Green Bay's probably the opponent that you fear more. So, root for Caleb and the Bears. Now, because they are 10-4, and because of the Micah thing, I think I'm back on let Green Bay give you a little bit of margin. Here's the other dimension that I haven't mentioned yet, which is Chicago still has San Francisco.
Yes.
So, not that anyone could be more motivated in professional football. I want to respect what Sundays are in the league, but I want the most desperate, motivated Chicago Bears team possible to be going to Santa Clara in week 17. So if they're coming off, a loss against Green Bay, I think that'll be the reality.
Yep. And for San Francisco, they've got Indy, they've got Grandfather Rivers, and then the Bears and Seattle.
Wow. He's a
out.
grandfather. Dang.
I know. That's so cool, though. What a story.
That is a story.
It was a beautiful story and a great
Off
press
the couch.
conference by him.
Wow.
Keys to victory, fellas. DeMarco, I'll start with you.
Oh, my God. Defense, I guess, start the game the way you finished it versus Detroit, and just keep doing what you're doing, stopping the run. I just love the interior depth. We've been saying that all year. The way you're playing blocks, getting off blocks, Nate Landman has played terrific, and not just in the passing game, in the run game. I'm glad you mentioned Omar Speights earlier. He's been an absolute hammer. Now, it doesn't show up in the countable stats, but you've got to take on blocks with the proper shoulder to send the ball where you need it to go into your help, and he hasn't really missed a beat there. So start there. The one thing that you could rev up is pass rush. When you do earn the right to rush the passer and get after him, don't waste your reps. The worst thing in the world is when you waste reps and give them data. When you come off with something clean and it's there, but the ball gets out, or they pick up a first down. Now they've seen it, now they've talked about it, and it kind of negates your advantage. So when you do have ops to get off the field, you got to get off, especially against Sam Darnold. If you do, and you keep turning this back over to Matthew Stafford and this run game, you have a chance to control it up there and take the crowd out of the game. And I think that's most important.
All right, you didn't take yourself there, so I'm going to take you to it because I know you well enough. Anyone remember who was the most vocal in their support of Sam Darnold after his 4 giveaway game at SoFi?
Oh, yeah. Their middle linebacker,
Ernest Jones.
Ernest Jones. Yes.
So, I mean, we talked about Colby going back to the Pacific Northwest. Puna Ford, I mean, my goodness, former Seahawk. This is a huge matchup for him to kind of bend this game back on Sam Darnold. But the green dot linebacker battle, not just in terms of this game, but who's getting postseason accolades? DeMarco Farr.
Down to the wire. Like you said, there's an inside backer battle, there's a receiver battle, and there's a lot at stake for both teams. But that, in particular, is going to be fun. That is going to be a play made on every single drive by those two guys. May the best man win.
And we talk about two guys maybe most likely to generate an extra possession.
Yeah.
Yep.
He has 5 picks. Nate Landman has done the Landman punch. It's about time for another one. Mm-hmm. That would be a game changer. Like you said, diet touchdowns aren't going to work. That's field goals. Getting the ball out certainly will. That will change everything. Diet touchdowns.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's so good. And to your point too, JB, that type of competition, I always think back. I was a volleyball player, and you do outside versus outside, like best on best, and for whoever got the starting role. And it was like practice week of competition. Like, as an athlete, those are the type of competitions that you live and die for. Like, that gives me goosebumps. It's going to be incredible to watch some of these supreme athletes go head to head.
Okay, one more thing before we go. I
got
believe
a
this.
few more too. So.
I 100% believe this. I think some guys are happier not playing in games like this and still being great. I really do. Some guys are just, they're happier being great on teams that aren't going anywhere because all they have to do is play well and say, look at me. It takes special group of people, a really good team, a great team, or a potential great one that wants to be in environments like this because everybody's watching and there's a lot at stake. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. If you come up on the losing end of this, bad.
There's more to lose when there's more at stake.
Exactly. Some people don't.
You got to
want
rise to the challenge, and I think we got them all.
I think we do. I think, and it starts from the top, the coaching staff down. We mentioned that earlier. I think they're ready for this because they've planned for it. If that makes any sense, they're not shocked by going up to Seattle and having this on the line. This ain't a fun story like the Bears. Oh wow, look at Caleb Williams. He's actually no. They planned for this. They plan to be in environments like this. So. I think you've got enough of those guys on this football team that you can take it up and do battle with anybody. So they're not going to blink. Now you just have to go up there and play well. I think that's the most important thing.
I think this is the second of 3 meetings between the Seahawks and the Rams this year.
I like
you agree?
it.
I think this one determines where that third game is going to be played. Mm-hmm. But I think we're going to see this again in January, don't you?
Yes. Got a feeling.
Yeah. I want to circle back to something we kind of left on the shelf recapping the win over Seattle earlier this season, which was the Rams didn't get to a lot of their stuff. Yeah. Like, it wasn't a productive day offensively, and credit the Seahawks for everything they did because they're beautifully built to thwart what the Rams love to do. But because of those 4 takeaways, it was a lot of like short field specialty situation stuff. And I would like to think that, what was it, a month ago, some of the preferred plays, some of the preferred answers to the looks that the Rams have are still dry powder for this game. Is there any truth to that potential dynamic that, like, there's a corner or multiple corners of the play sheet that LaFleur and McVay had that they just didn't get to?
I would bet that you're right. I do know when you turn the ball over and the fields are shorter than you think and you're playing scramble ball, there's only so many things you can call, but if you're able to start your game plan, everything's going to look different, and you have answers.
Offensively, only 12 first downs, not even 250 yards, only 22 minutes of possession in a game that you won.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's kind of the exception that proves the rule, but I would like to think that there's still a good corner of the game plan that plays well this week. I think you got to call out Rashid Shaheed and the difference he makes, both in terms of the offense and if you've watched what he's done on special teams. He is an X factor that matters, I think, in this game, in addition to all their star personnel on defense. So put
a body on him. Yes, sir.
Put a body on him.
Yes.
I will give you my key to victory, which is I would love to see the Rams score a touchdown on the first drive. And I say this because Seattle has not allowed a touchdown on the first drive in 13 consecutive games. So I would love to see the Rams just punch them in the mouth to get things started. And then I'll go back. Wow. I want to see Jason Myers kicking some field goals. Kick 6. I don't care. Go for it. Get those numbers past 153. That's fine by me as long as he's not kicking PATs. Any final thoughts
No.
before we get out of here?
Let's get it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be
Win
loud. It's going to be
first
wet.
down.
Yes, girl.
Win first down.
There you go.
Win first down. Win first down. Win first down.
I will let you guys know it's been wonderful to have you here with Between the Horns, presented by your Southern California dealers. For JV Long, DeMarco Farr, I'm Camryn Irwin, and I cannot wait to see the new member on special teams, Christian Alexander. I think maybe a little extra roster appearance. We can't wait for Thursday Night Football. Be sure to be loud and cheering from wherever you are.